Today on the Lab Report, we'll learn about symbiosis, which is the interaction between organisms in an ecosystem. These interactions can be helpful, harmful, or have no effect. And we'll explore different types of symbiosis, like competition, predation, parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. Hey, I'm Dr. Jeff, and today we're learning about the interaction between organisms in an ecosystem. Adam, Caroline, check out this fox.
Oh, it's so cute.
Indeed, but I'm pretty sure this little guy does not agree.
Aw, hey little bunny. Do you want to be friends with Mr. Fox?
That's probably a bad idea for the rabbit.
I agree. When two organisms interact in nature, like these two can, we call it symbiosis. The interaction of two different organisms in an ecosystem. Those interactions can be beneficial, harmful, or have no effect. How do you think the fox and the rabbit interact in nature?
Well, the fox is a predator.
Which makes this little fella its prey.
That's right. Scientists call this type of symbiotic relationship predation. That's when one animal eats another.
I kind of feel bad for the rabbit.
Well, that's the way nature works. Predation is actually essential to maintaining an ecosystem.
Which is all the living and non-living things in an area.
Right. Organisms depend on each other as well as the non-living parts of an ecosystem to survive.
Like the fox depends on the rabbit for food, and the rabbit depends on the plants for food.
And they all rely on non-living things in the ecosystem, like water and air.
Exactly. Food webs like this show where each organism gets its energy from. And it also tells us what it eats.
So in this ecosystem, rabbits eat plants. But if there's a ton of rabbits and not enough plants, then some of the rabbits are going to starve to death.
And that's why the predatory relationship with foxes is important. Predators reduce the population of their prey.
So foxes keep the rabbit population from getting too big, and with fewer rabbits, there are more plants that survive.
Predatory relationships exist in all ecosystems. For example, great white sharks prey on seals. Snakes prey on frogs. And spiders prey on insects. When I say go, I want you both to grab as many peanuts as you can, one at a time. Go. And stop. How many did you get?
I got 6.
12.
Caroline wins. You both just engaged in a competition. Competition is a type of symbiotic relationship. That's when two organisms compete for the same resource. Now let's take a look at two organisms that compete in nature. The first is a hawk, and the second is an owl. What do these two animals compete for?
Probably animals like rodents, lizards, and small birds.
But if two animals hunt the same prey, isn't one going to end up winning and the other losing at some point?
Sometimes, if two organisms are engaged in competition, it could limit the growth and reproduction of one of them or both of them.
So who wins the matchup between the owl and the hawk?
Well, when do owls typically hunt?
Owls are nocturnal, which means that they hunt at night.
And hawks hunt during the day.
So they would never be competing at the same time.
Exactly. Over many generations, owls and hawks have adapted and found a specialty that allows both to thrive in a competitive relationship. We can see competitive relationships in many ecosystems. For example, lions and cheetahs compete for gazelle. And killer whales compete with seals to eat penguins. Yum. Next, let's look at parasitism.
Is that like when my dog gets a tick?
Yes, and if your dog gets a blood-sucking tick, does it get any benefit?
No, actually, it's bad for her.
That's right. Parasitism is a relationship where one organism benefits and the other is harmed.
So do we have some samples of ticks?
No. I would never do that. Instead, leeches. Leeches are related to earthworms. They have a flexible body and a mouth that has razor-sharp teeth for cutting and sucking. They're mostly found in fresh water, where they suck the blood of birds, reptiles, fish, and Dr. Jeff.
Are you gonna put those things on you?
Anything for science. Ow. Does it hurt? You wanna try it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Leeches can consume a tremendous amount of blood, about 5 times their own body weight. But we're not gonna find out how much of my blood these can drink.
And since leeches don't provide any benefit to the host animal, they're parasites.
He's on strong. Another example of a parasitic relationship exists between snails and tiny worms called green-banded broodsacs. The snails eat this tiny worm, and then it grows inside the snail, takes over its brain. The parasitic worm pulses its body to attract birds, which eat the snail so the worm can enter the bird's digestive system and reproduce. Plants can have parasitic relationships too. For example, mistletoe can grow on top of other trees because they have special roots that grow into the tree to extract water and nutrients from the host plant, sometimes killing it.
Hey, little guy. Let me guess. His name's Nemo?
No, it's Greg, actually. And he's gonna help us explore mutualism, which is a relationship that benefits both organisms.
You mean I scratch your back, you scratch mine?
Exactly. The most famous example is right here, a sea anemone and a clownfish. The anemone's poisonous tentacles provide the clownfish with protection from predators, and in return, the clownfish chases away anything that tries to nibble at the anemone. They both benefit.
But if the anemone is poisonous, why don't the clownfish get stung?
The clownfish have a special mucus coating that protects them from stings. But not all examples of mutualism are so obvious. Check out this one.
Wood?
Nope, termites.
Oh, they eat that, right?
Yes, but termites can't digest wood on their own. That's why termites have a mutualistic bacteria in their stomach that breaks down wood into sugars. Without the bacteria, termites would starve.
So the termites benefit from the bacteria digesting its wood, and the bacteria benefit from a home and free food.
They wouldn't survive without each other.
That's right. The last type of symbiosis we'll discuss is commensalism. Commensalism is when one organism benefits and the other is neither helped nor harmed.
Like when sharks have those little fish that swim alongside them and eat their scraps?
Yes, those are called remora fish, and they can attach themselves to sharks and eat their leftovers. The remora fish benefit, but the shark is neither helped nor harmed. That's commensalism.
There's also barnacles on whales that ride along and filter feed as they go.
Free ride for the barnacles and no major effect on the whales.
There's commensalism with plants too. Orchids are a type of plant that grows on top of some trees. The orchid gets a leg up to more sunlight, and the tree is neither helped nor harmed.
Wait, what's the difference between an orchid and a mistletoe? You said that was parasitism.
Good question. A mistletoe grows into a tree to suck out nutrients and is therefore a parasite. But orchids just sit on top to have access to more sunlight, so it doesn't help or harm the tree. That's commensalism.
Are there any organisms that use us for a free ride?
Oh yes, mites. Nearly every person on the planet has microscopic mites living on and in their bodies.
What?
Mites! They're related to spiders and scorpions.
You're not making us feel better.
Well, maybe you'd feel better if you saw them live.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
It's easy, Adam. Just take some glue and put it on this microscope slide.
Okay.
Perfect. Now I will take this slide and stick it to my forehead. Perfect. When I pull it off, we'll have a thin layer of cells, which might have some mites. Let's see if we can find a mite. Oh, I found one. Take a look.
Whoa, cool. They look like worms with little legs.
Yep, And I guarantee we all have these on our faces too. Face mites eat oils and dead skin cells, but they have no effect on us, which makes this relationship
Commensalism.
I think I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight.
You'll sleep great with lots of mites on your face, just like you do every night.
Anyway, let's explore the kinds of careers you can have studying symbiotic relationships.
An ecologist is a type of scientist that studies ecosystems. They study all kinds of ecosystems, like those within coral reefs or rainforest. In all of them, ecologists can observe patterns of interactions between organisms, some competitive and some predatory. Knowing these interactions helps them preserve ecosystems. For example, when ecologists saw the wolf population declining in Yellowstone National Park, they knew it would affect other animals, like the foxes and coyotes it competes with, as well as the elk, which is its prey. Ecologists work to protect and reintroduce the wolves, which improve the populations of all the animals there. A marine biologist is a scientist that studies life in the ocean. Ocean creatures can have all the same interactions as those on land. For example, this is a cleaner shrimp. It's exhibiting mutualism. The fish is benefiting from getting its parasites removed, and the shrimp is getting free food. By studying this relationship, marine biologists discovered that cleaner shrimp congregate at cleaning stations. Fish take turns stopping by, almost like a car wash. These are just two of the many careers that study interactions between organisms.
Today, we're going to test our skills at matching different pairs of organisms to the correct type of interaction. To do this, you're going to need a friend to play with, hey Caroline, and a set of interaction cards which you can cut out and find on GenerationGenius.com. Each card shows two organisms and a clue about their relationship at the bottom. Then, the answer on the back. One person reads it and the other tries to figure out the type of relationship. I'll start. Okay, so this ant burrows into the acacia tree to eat sugars. The ants also protect the tree from predators. Well, the tree gets protection and the ant eats food. Both benefit, so I'm gonna say mutualism.
That's right. Okay, my turn.
Cool.
The cowbird takes over the nest of other birds. Then the cowbird's chicks push out the first bird's eggs, killing them. It sounds like the host bird is seriously harmed, so parasitism.
You got it. So that's how you play. You can start with these cards provided and then create your own. Try it yourself.
Thanks, Adam. Now, let's review.
Today, we learned about symbiosis, which is the interaction between organisms in an ecosystem.
These interactions can be helpful, harmful, or have no effect.
And we explored 5 different types of symbiosis: competition, predation, parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism.
Join us next time on the Lab Report. I'm Dr. Jeff.
I'm Adam.
I'm Caroline.
And remember,
Always question, always wonder.